Motown gave us the Mustang.
I had a beat off.
In his sock drawer. They said, oh, I don't read, obviously. When interest rates and
They call
taxes
them
spiral
dumps, big
upward.
massive dumps.
Where's Dick? Hi, Dick. You like Dick? Yeah.
All right, let's get it together. The moment we get some sound happening. Is the sound happening? Oh, we have it. We got live. Why is 1 out of 3 of my lights on? Wait, what is happening? That's not right. I'm struggling by, where's my mouse? There it is. I'm clicking on this thing, and I'll turn on this thing, and I'll flam over the wang dangle, and flip the Scooby-Doo, and there we go. There's 1, there's 2. Excellent. All right, now it's working. So, hi, there I am. I can't allow my wonderful locks to be difficult to cut out. Look at the green haze around it. Green haze. That happens because I'm froofy. Hey, it's a holiday weekend. Today's kind of a holiday. So, hi, how are you? Welcome to the morning show. It's Hal Sparks Mornings Megaworldwide. Thank you for showing up. I think it shows taste and breeding on your part. Don't forget to like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show, become a Patreon subscriber today, and also twitch.tv/HalSparks, and also you can become a member on YouTube, and I've almost got this prattle down. Anyways, hi. A couple of programming notes right out of the gate. This morning show will only be a single hour instead of 2 hours because I've got family stuff around the house to do. And then this afternoon show will be moved up because I'm filling in for Joan Esposito on WCPT. So I'm going to, since it's a holiday weekend, I'm going to overlap the two. So I'm still doing full shows. I don't know if I'll be commenting on videos because I get into the swear a lot area, which could be a problem for the problems. So I've got to check something before I do that. Like if I'm going to go through something, it'll have to be sort of specific to, fit Joan's show and that kind of thing. So work with me. At the very least, I will be taking callers on CPT. So that will sort of make up for it, I hope, in that regard. Yeah. So happy Monday, Junior. I don't consider this a real Monday because it's a holiday Monday for a lot of people. So it can't. So this Wednesday is officially a Monday, just for those keeping track. If misery begins with the start of your work week, that's how it will have to work. I'm sorry. It will also be less miserable a lot quicker because it will only last 2 days, apparently, or something. Anyways, yeah. Some people don't know that I swore. People in the chat are astonished to find out that I grouse like a grown up. Yeah. Hello. I'm having the coffee this morning. What are you having to drink? Good morning. I have to do more morning things on the morning show because lately there's been so much crap going on that I've come in guns a-blazing, and I feel like it's just too much on people. I got to ease up on you guys. Every Monday sucks? I don't know. I beg to differ, and I very seldom beg. People will tell you this. They'll let you know. Hold on, I'm gonna drag this guy down. There we go. Let's see. We obviously have a lot to cover today. In our trends, anyways. So once I bring this up, and we're good. Hey, all right. Now, if I may, let's jump straight into our trends because we only got an hour. We got 49 minutes to get through all this stuff, and I'm sure it's a feel. Oh, and they had to start with Trump Jr., didn't they? They just had to. They had to. I don't know why. Up here is Trump, and I think this is not just Donald Trump Jr., but this is Fred Trump Jr. is what? Yeah. So, after the affirmative action ruling last week, it has been, I guess there's been reminders going around that Trump, and this may shock some of you, did not get into university based on his test scores, his skills. At that point, even when what was that? I hear one second, if I may. Hold on. Yes, Miss, can I help you? I'm trying to do a show. Would you hold on. She wants to say hi to everybody. That's what Chud does. She just rolls up with her shaved belly and her partially shaved wrists, and she's meowing outside the door. Was I making too much noise while you were trying to poo, or what was happening? I'm sorry. She's like, it's not a real Monday. What are you doing down there? That's probably what she's like. It's a holiday. Cool out. I'm only taking an hour. They'll be fine, and I'll be fine. And then I've got to do the radio. This app. We'll talk about it. She gets very. Hold on. I'll give her to Camden. Hold on. Cam, I got a cat coming in hot. Put her in the square. Here she goes. Okay. Thank you. Luckily for the father that works from home, my son has built a pillow fort on the downstairs couch, and so Chud is now the guardian of the pillow fort, and is will be nested in there temporarily. Anyways, back to awful things after something so lovely. Yeah. So Richard Painter said, "Here's how elite university admissions works then and now, and nothing the Supreme Court did today changes any of it. UPenn admissions officially, who interviewed Trump in '66, was best friends with Fred Trump Jr., and the school was not hard to get into. Yeah, of course not. Like, here's this might be a shock to some people, but if you're in the real estate business, especially, or you're in the sciences, if your family works in chemistry, engineering, any of that kind of stuff, the chances of them getting their buildings built as a school are much higher if they let a few of these dumbasses in. And I don't fault them for it. That was one of the, by the way, legacy admissions and rich assholes building buildings for the universities they went to was one of the ways they used to keep the admissions cost down. And then it lost favor somewhere around the 1960s because people wanted Soviet architecture on all their college campuses, and everybody was like, "We don't want any. I don't want to go to a building named after some rich prick who did it." What do you care? If they want to spend that money building that building, let them do it. It doesn't affect how you learn, and you don't have to like praise gratitude. It's not a church, for Christ's sake. No pun intended. Just all right. Now they've got to factor every building upgrade and all that stuff into all of their tuition, where they didn't used to. They used to just suck up to dickheads like Fred Trump. Just saying. So the road to hell is paved with good intentions, is it not? And then, let's see, a little common sense tell you Trump is a domestic terrorist who admitted sexually assaulting women. Donald Trump Jr. actively uses coke. He doesn't sell it. Okay, this is in relation to Lauren Boebert, with this weird thing about a little common sense logic will tell you the Biden family sold influence and access to America. I don't understand. I mean, I know what she's saying. I just don't know why she thinks it'll land anywhere. We've been through this before. Under smoke track, he doesn't sell. You know why smokes crack? You know why he smokes crack? Same reason a lot of Wall Street guys do a lot of blow and hookers, because the work that they do is not physically taxing. It may be psychologically taxing. It may be stressful, and they find outlets other than that, but they're not going to break their back doing it. They have a lot of free time. That's why. It's the same with the arts. In between your great ideas, there's a lot of downtime. And that's why some people do that. Not yours truly. But yeah. And Joe Biden doesn't have any meaningful business outside of being a politician. Well, he does have a meaningful, he's an author. He's a published author and a university professor. So those two things he did for an actual paycheck. But of course, that understanding that Boebert does not think books are a meaningful business. So touche, Bobes. And so when you hear about 5 million here and 10 million there, the only thing that can be selling is access and influence. Remember that. Okay, I don't need to hear about 5 million here and 10 million there. I need to see it. And I also need to see what the access and influence actually was that was supposedly sold actually did. We'll get to that later. Okay. Why isn't anyone praising my father's legendary business skills for figuring out a way to monetize government documents? If he can get 2 billion, that's got to be a parody. Yeah, it's a parody account. Guys, you can't see fascist a parody. Yeah. Congratulations, Carrie Lake, on her new book, Unafraid, an incredible read on her race, her story, and the future of America. Get your copy today, Carrie Lake. Yeah, there's no way he read it. There is no way. No way he read that book. Not possible. Didn't happen. Book report, immediate book report, immediate. Like, I always think it's funny when news people do, they have an author on with a new book, and on occasion you can tell certain people, especially Rachel does this, Lawrence does this. They bring on people and they've just read the book. Chris Hayes will do this too, and he'll do it like sort of almost against the will of his producers. He'll read a book and then he'll go, "I've got to have this person on," and it's almost like a diversion from the normal show in some cases. But like Rachel Maddow will bring on a copy and she'll have notes in it that she read it, or if she hasn't finished it, it's because she got hung up chasing down elements of it and that kind of thing, which is her, like, how she operates, and she'll admit to it on the air. But I've always loved when people like hold up a book and they're like, "This fascinating read. It is shocking. There is a part in here where and they are obviously quoting a piece from the PR team's like early release, or what they would like quoted about it, or their pre-produced discussion of it, because they will quote verbatim what the like pre-book sale, like if you go on Amazon and you see what Simon and Schuster put in the description of the book and has segments that you can read and little blurbs from it, the host will say exactly that part and no further. I always find that fascinating. I imagine it's got to be difficult. But just admit you haven't read it yet. This book just came out. Tell me about it. As you know, I haven't had a chance to read it. It comes out on Monday, blah, blah, blah. So obviously, describe for me this process and what people can expect. And that's enough. You don't have to pretend you read it. Imagine if this was Donald Trump Jr. with President Trump. Well, first of all, this is not about a Chinese company, and Z is not a Chinese, is not Zhao, the other guy from CEFC. Also, I don't know why it's half green, half blue here, except for the fact that when they posted it online, it's blue like iMessage apps. Did you guys read all that stuff about how off this is? That the blue, iMessage on Apple is in blue, but WhatsApp is green. And apparently this person just wants to have it both ways. But secondarily, and I don't know where they're watching this off of, or they took a screen grab of a screen grab of a screen grab, but that's less important. I'm guessing it was normal blue. Well, it's hard to tell. It looks like an old television set. Anyways, the other thing is that the picture associated with it is from a picture that happened 4 years after the WhatsApp message was supposedly sent. New York Appeals Court dismisses Ivanka Trump from a civil fraud case brought by the state's attorney against them. Oh yeah, the ejection process is in full force. That $2 billion buys you a big way out. When is that one? July 1st. Is that a newish one? I can't tell these days. Hold on. I'm going to have to pop in my stuff. Somebody slowed that down. Clearly.
Crisis. Joe Biden is the guy they're going to call at 3 in the morning if there's a serious crisis with Russia. Joe Biden is.
I gotta say, it sounds like a couple of minutes, or a couple of segments slow. Like they dipped it down the speed of it, say, what, 15%, something like that, something like that. Yeah. Anti-Democrat Trump Jr. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Those questioning Doug McGregor's Ukraine tweets, you should. Here's the entire list of his 6 follows: RFK, Daily Noah, Kim.com, Tucker Carlson, Trump Jr., and Musk. Odd he's not a David Sachs guy. That is weird. Yeah, Douglas McGregor is one of the guys who's been like, China's going to kick our ass and Russia's going to eat our lunch, or vice versa, or both, or something forever. Super weird. And I think just kind of like one of these kick around guys who was on his way up under Reagan and then blames Clinton for his career trajectory after that point. Yeah. Organizers of the Donald Trump Jr. speaking tour are being expected to pay for a police presence at the Melbourne event. Oh, yeah, he's been denied entrance. Joe Rogan speaks to his guests about the collusion between media and government. The collusion between media and government is pretty apparent. I mean, if that was the Donald Trump Jr. laptop, holy shit, that would lead every night. I mean, this whole yes. Here's how it would lead, Joe. Do I have to break it down to you? What would lead in the news if it was the Donald Trump Jr. is the laptop is that no one has physically laid eyes on it, and that Hillary Clinton's lawyer has been shopping copies of the hard drive with more data on it than the physical capacity of that laptop that it allegedly came from. That's what would be the story. Do you think Fox News would just let that part of it lie? You think they would just kind of ignore that detail then? The fuck out of here. Joe, you are talking out of your ass. Next time Nerd Halen's in Texas, have me on and I'll explain the whole fucking thing to you. Child. Amazing. Why? Do people want to put it on the back of his truck? on Don Jr.'s truck? There you go. Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. Why do Trump know for a fact that he doesn't with the border closed? I see. They're just compilations of him being chatty. Okay. Since mocking ethnicity is a popular campaign technique of Trump's and Don Jr., should DeSantis start calling Trump bratwurst? Because DeSantis is a meatball? I don't know they're going that far. I don't think they're thinking it through that much. Also, bratwurst are far too big. Yeah, I mean, you'd have to, I don't know, nibs. You'd have to have a bratwurst nib, perhaps. You'll have to have Stormy Daniel draw you something up that'll. What would you do if it was my laptop from hell, but Hunter gets a sweet deal? Well, if it was his laptop, again, they would be all over the fact that none of the metadata in the actual messaging is real. All of MAGA, all of QAnon, everybody would point that it was a CIA op, or the deep state made it up, and they would point to every detail I point to that shows that it's a bunch of fakery. They would do that all day long, every day, and it would be all over the news because they would be mad about it, because they're the type of people to just kind of like shit talk people and don't care. Whereas on my end, we're a little nicer about it than we might otherwise be. Let's see. Oh, hi, Andrea. Yes, we are doing a morning show. I just saw your message. Hello there. And then I just had to restart my computer. Okay. Before I started down here now, oh, it's warm in here. I have to say, like, the Harry Meghan stuff, that sounds weird. The Harry and Meghan stuff. I don't know if Meghan's hair. It's none of my business. Not my business. But I gotta say, and again, this is fucking full of all this garbage. She can't name a single thing Meghan Markle has done wrong or why she really hates her. She just proved that it's the newspaper that made her a lady she has never met. Well, I mean, they're royals. She married into the royals. And then they're using the fact that they're royals to build a, hey, we're not royals anymore career. That's what that's about. because I like it's weird, but if the whole point is we're not going to be royals anymore. We're out of the royal world. We're not doing that anymore. Um, and then do it. Then don't. Why be in the public eye at all? If not for the fact that you are former royals, you would have no more sway than any other person. So don't use it. I mean, it feels like they're using the fact that they got out to as their primary point of fame. Just disappears. 8 billion people on the planet. You can be like everybody else. Honestly, I'm not going to get a meeting look, I refuse to join the British royal family. I'm not going to marry into it. I'm not going to be royal at any point. Ta-da, where's my Netflix meeting? Right? Like, welcome to the world of everybody else. Because apparently there was an article where they're saying it was really hard for them to start their business or get work or build their thing that they were building because of COVID and everything else. Yeah. And to them, I'd say, yes, that's how life is. That's how it is for all of us. That's how we are. I wish them no ill at all. I don't carry around any extra stuff, but I'm like, he's a former prince and you're pretty and you got it easier than everybody else already. I mean, you still got your estates and stuff, still got the property from being a royal physically. Anytime you want it, in case of emergency, that crown is like in a glass case. I just find that odd. Anybody else find that odd? Yeah. I mean, primarily, especially around 4th of July, I you guys understand I have a chip on my shoulder about this kind of stuff, but I gotta say, I'm not. We fought a war and celebrated this weekend to not give a shit what happens with the royal family, who they marry into, who they marry out of, all that kind of stuff. Harry is not a former prince. He will always be a prince regardless of what he does or where he lives. Yeah, well, that's the other thing, too, is that you can call yourself a former prince, but it's always there, isn't it? I mean, if he prodigal sons, that in and of itself is a boomerang business model. Let it go. We'll see a chip on your shoulder. Well, Chud will have to do for the time. Yeah. Is a Harry Meghan like a fuzzy navel? I wouldn't know. You'll have to let me know. Order one at a bar and tell me. In my opinion, for you, you've given this too much time. Well, it popped right back up there. We'll go to Richard Gere. How's that? Every millionaire actor actively encouraging third world occupation in Europe while he lives in a gated palace. I think, okay, he's just trying to keep people from dying on boats. That's what, yeah. Encourages moving to Europe where these young men will enrich society, ushering in perhaps a great artistic renaissance. Okay, so yeah, they're just looping on this, whatever. You take an entire conversation and take one thing and say that the people he's with on that boat might actually make a contribution and turning it into, he wants them to attack us and whatever. Happy St. Thomas Day. Gospel of St. John. You believe because you can see me. Happy are those who have not seen and yet believe. Gospel of St. John. Ooh. One more from Pride in London to start your Monday, right? Okay, there we go. Chapel of St. Thomas Becket and Old London Bridge, a vivid reconstruction by historical artists, captures the medieval mood perfectly. I mean, there was a lot of cloth floating around back then for how hard it was to. I mean, everybody had one garment or maybe two, so you start layering after a while. Yep. Syriac Orthodox Church in the United Kingdom is established in the 1960s as its own church, St. Thomas Cathedral in London, for Syrian Christians, I guess, right? And then there's pictures of people's trip to St. Thomas. There's a lot of stuff about the wound of Christ because it's a weird picture. It's a curious picture. You're not, and basically Jesus saying you're not important because you can see me physically. It's the people who can't see this and believe that have true faith. You don't need faith when you have knowledge. That's the point of that. And so knowledge takes no strength. It takes no character. And he's like, you have knowledge, good for you, but not everybody, they don't live. Obviously, they weren't able to. Jesus didn't TikTok at the point. Yeah, okay. We went back to Trump Jr. We don't. Oh, there was something else about in the Trump Jr. thing that was in there. I wanted to show you guys. I think. Doopity doo, doo 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 doodly doo, doodly doo. It was earlier or whatever. So I may. Yeah, stop the Biden crime family. Crime. It's going to be buried too far. Oh well, next time. Here we go. Josh Hawley, because apparently their Disney is trying to cast the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and they need somebody to be a stunt Adam's apple. Yeah. So Aaron Hawley brought the 303 case against in the Supreme Court case to basically fake the Christian web designer story. Yeah. And it's interesting because people are like, she should be sanctioned and you should be able to bring the case again. And I agree. Ultimately, it's going to have zero impact anyways. It will not meaningfully change the law anywhere. Even like they just created this thing like they're trying to force us to, but all this is going to be as part of the narrative of they tried to force these things down our throat. That shit. Which, I mean, are we going to hear more of that or less than that? I don't know. Jury, I got into Harvard because of affirmative action. Yeah, I don't think she thinks she was not qualified though. She got in because she would have been passed over for someone white or more aptly Asian, more that's why she's saying that, not because she wasn't qualified. The whole point, in an all things being equal setting, I suppose. I don't know. I don't know what her grades were like, but I think that fits more than anything else. I think the irony is that Clarence Thomas used to talk about it positively. Now, the argument that Thomas would make is that at one point it had a purpose and it has outlived that purpose. Like anything that is supposed to mandate a change, it was supposed to be a temporary fix and it has become permanent. And that is the thing. But I don't think the mission of it is accomplished yet. Or at least a stasis has been reached where they go, this is as good as it will help. It can only do so much, and it has reached this level, right? That would make sense. That's when you end it. But Clarence Thomas is under the idea that once I got in, it worked. Now it doesn't work. It's very much like Paul Ryan, who went to college because of his Social Security benefits, and then he wants to privatize and get rid of Social Security. He certainly wants to get rid of the Social Security benefits that he went to school on. So it's effectively like getting in the lifeboat and pulling the ladder up after yourself, knowing full well there are still people in that water, still, those people are still drowning. How'd you get Lucas Coons on? He's running for Senate to take down Josh. That's a good idea. Okay, I'll see what I can do. Yeah, it's that, and by the way, as Stinko Farce, that I got mine, fuck you attitude of theirs is very similar to what TYT does. It's the inversion of that. If we don't get everything, nobody gets anything. It's the same kind of thing. It's just punish those people. I know they're still drowning, but I don't care. Unless we can, unless everybody gets a spot on the beach, I'm not pulling anybody out of the water. That's the idea, which is just fucking stupid, but whatever. Muslim Americans, because of Jen Psaki, Dino Badala is on there. I'm hearing that conservatives are trying to use Muslim Americans as a wedge against the trans community. We're noticing a reemerge the old ploy straight from the GOP playbook. Only part is new topic. claims the GOP is trying to recruit Muslim Americans against transgender people. They're trying to, I don't think they're trying to recruit them. I think they're trying to play up the wedge where it does exist. They did this with religious conservatives in the evangelical community. They're just doing it with Muslim Americans because they think it throws a monkey wrench in the brain works of any kind of like hyper liberal who can't grasp that any kind of orthodoxy, religious orthodoxy is antithetical to democracy, is antithetical to the free movement of people, because that's the basis of it. You can't have a singular monotheistic system where you can only go to the good place through me and you can't, and anywhere else is straight to hell, and I'm going to dictate governmental or tribal policy based on that. You can't have that and have democracy. It doesn't work that way because it's an all or nothing approach. And so anywhere that Republicans can find that all or nothing approach, they're going to play it against anything they don't like, especially in the diversity and inclusion concepts that Democrats are trying to allow for, which is allow everybody to have their say, which is, by the way, within reason. They take out all the caveats. Black Lives Matter was, again, the phrase Black Lives Matter 2 also. They just, shaved it off to make it tighter, but that's what it means. The idea was everybody's life matters except Black Lives. Somehow Black lives don't seem to matter. Well, they do. And that's what Black Lives Matter meant, not more than anybody else's, equal to everyone else's, is the premise, which for anybody with any fucking brains was easy to grasp. But the right wing was like, oh yeah, okay, so they're on top now, okay, all right, now you're projecting a bit. But the same thing kind of applies to any kind of diversity or inclusion ideas, that everybody's ideas are welcome within the confines of, as long as they don't eliminate someone else's rights in the process. You could come in to government saying you want Sharia law, for example, but it's not going anywhere because it would ultimately violate the Constitution. You can have it in your culture. You can behave in such a way that keeps your behavior within that, but you don't get the right to implement it on somebody else, because it is a religious-based law, not based in the physical reality we all share, and we live in a democracy under a constitution that practices religious pluralism. So whenever you have an orthodoxy, you are going to have there will be a movement, and even if it's not religious orthodoxy, you can see this in the manosphere, in the incel area, or like tradcon women, for example. All these are orthodoxies, and they don't allow for any movement that would break down that system because it's very singular. The Klan, why is the Klan? I guess the Klan is trending because I suppose because it's Elon Musk's Twitter. Would it be a normal day on Elon Musk's Twitter if it didn't have a right? For his star, Robert De Niro did this incredibly New York Italian car commercial in 1970. His character always, like back then, his trick was he was always confused. Like, if you look at old De Niro, it's like, I don't know what happened. Like, all of it is, he's always surprised, which, in a lot of these situations, like, he allows stuff to catch him off guard. Yeah. Bronx Tale's a nice movie. And has a great story about biracial couples in it. Robert De Niro's grandson. Oh, man. Is that why it came up today? That's a shame. Andrew De Niro Rodriguez, who acted in A Star Is Born, dies. That's a shame. What do we think? Privacy? Yeah, I mean, what do you think? Fentanyl or suicide seems to be the coin that everybody flips these days. It's a shame. Deeply distressed by the passing of my beloved grandson, Leo. We are greatly appreciative of the condolences from everyone. We asked if we please give him privacy to grieve our loss of Leo. Yeah. It's a shame. Um, Don Jr.'s back. Well, he bounces back into there. Ric Flair, because why is Ric Flair in sports? It's wrestling. Um, I was into wrestling a little bit when I was a kid in Kentucky and stuff, but it didn't last for very long. I had other stuff to do. But I remember all this stuff as if I watched it nonstop. And Roddy Piper, I got to say, just for They Live alone, um, transcended wrestling farther than The Rock ever has. Okay, Schiaparelli, the Schiaparelli Couture. Okay, so they're all at the fashion show. Cardi B is there, and the thing with the thing wearing what looks largely to be the filters from a giant the filter from a giant's pipe. Um, yeah, I here's the thing. When humanity is doing stuff like this, I'm kind of for it because it means it isn't so bad that this stuff has stopped. You know what I mean? Like you gotta kind of let it's not banned on the Titanic time, but there's an element of like life goes on to it, and uh, but I feel like most of these kind of things are the most self-congratulatory things, even more so than like the Oscars, because a fashion show is like giving yourself the award before you've even won it. Does that make sense? Yeah. I rest my case. By the way, that dress isn't always like that. That happens if you stop suddenly. Poof. Why the mouth cover? I guess is that paint? Yeah, she's painted. Okay, so the only thing she's wearing is the tights, the skirt, which she's having to hold on apparently, and the necklace. I guess yeah, she's holding it. It's fun. Um, Cardi B lost her giant peacock noir, and I mean, it looks like you're running. It's like if the Flash was running so fast, if there was a female Flash and she ran out of her clothing, and the only thing that could withstand the speed was her lingerie. Um, oh my God. And you can't even be off their phones at that stuff. I gotta say, kids, wouldn't the purpose of being at some of these schmancy things being to not be on your phone when it's happening? You know what I mean? Like if I can do it during a movie, it, couldn't you do it at the? Never mind. I know I've lost my mind. I don't know why. um, the outfit in front of her. Yes. By the time I got situated with the house show, it will be over. No, it's okay, Nancy. You can always roll it back. Um, yeah. Here's some of the other outfits. That is. Oh, this is the same girl. She wore several of the outfits. I mean, that looks like something from the '60s. And that looks like something from The Legend of Zelda. Um, this is I based it on a urine culture, and I had it cast in gold. All right. Um, I just saw it hanging in the window, and I had to have it. Come play with us, Danny, forever. All right. This is the accessories of a lot of gold accessories, hammered gold, by the way, just chunks of gold. You got give it a okay, okay, all right. Maximalism, is that what that really is? I feel like at some point you just had a bucket of stuff dumped on you, and how is that anything but ridiculous? That's embarrassing. You ever see one of those things where they're nearly mocking a fashion designer in a movie where they just walk up and they're like, I need something, and they pick up like somebody's like got a like an old toilet roll or whatever, and they dip it in paint and stick it on something. Yes, oh, it's done, and then they run out onto the onto the runway, and you're like, okay, that's the amount of thought we're putting into this shit. Like it's pretty as art, but not as fashion. At a certain point, I think it. What? Ew. Oh, this is the nursing the golden baby thing. She's the Mary nursing baby Jesus with locks on her. It's clearly Satanism. Yep, we've seen those before. I feel like she's being attacked by tiny little winged monsters. Maybe I don't know if are you having a focus issue or I gotta. This look like something Medusa would wear when she drives. Violet Chachki forgot their pants. Let's see. I don't know what Violet's pronouns are. So let's see. Coat couture. This isn't. You're wearing a comforter. Stop. Fuck off. Fuck off. You're wearing a comforter. This is a comforter. Don't call it a jacket just because you've sewn parts of it together. Look at that dude. Look at that guy over there. That's the look on your face. Like that is. This is part of the oh for fuck's sake collection. Look at these things. These are. Yeah, there's your comforters. You just stitching comforters together, you maniac. It's not a coat. It's a coat. Like if that's a coat, hold on, wait. The let's see. I think it's a hide. Yeah. Hold on. Sorry, this is I gotta all right, get out of here. Anybody remember the original Rambo movie? When he took a piece of like deer skin or tarp that the guy had, and he cut a hole in it and threw it over his head, and basically made a poncho so he wouldn't freeze to death in the woods. You guys remember that at all? And then he made a spear out of his knife and ate pig. Yeah. Where he lived in a little cave for a little while. Yeah. Okay. So if that's, I gotta say, if this is high fashion, then this is high fashion. Because that's exactly what it is. It's like if you were in a zombie movie and you went to a house and everything in the house was covered in blood or rotten, except the bedroom was locked or something, and all they had was a comforter. You just slit a hole in it and wear it as a poncho and wrap it up and pull it up around your neck so they couldn't bite you. I mean, as zombie fighting stuff, as long as they don't bite your ankles, I think this is very fancy anti-zombie wear. It's such a lovely thing to be here, Okay, lovely. The hoop skirt is it's a new take on the hoop skirt. It's like, what's it like? Well, it's like my pelvis is giving off sound waves. That's the style I'm going for. Like it's like one ping only, Vasily. One ping only. It's like my vagina is a bat and it can find things. You have something on your I was dating a man who was a bank robber at one point, and he opened a package, and I wasn't that far away, and poof. By the way, it's there's like a piece of art sprayed on the front of this that's like a nude statue, and so through the jacket you can see it's like you're wearing X-ray specs in a 1950s, I don't know, voyeur fantasy movie. And she's none too happy about it either. Although I think she could pull look at there's a face on the collar. So I guess you could pull it up in front of her and then that you see all of her, except her, She's at least got her bits covered because her hands in her pocket, her real hands in her pocket. See that? And that's her fake hand. It's good. I gotta say all right. If this is art, wait for it. Wait. If this is art, um, if that hold on. Where is it? Let's see. There's got to be a picture of it somewhere. Where is it? Damn it. Okay, hold on. How is this not? How can you not find this right away? Wait. Off. Hold on. There we go. Now we'll try it. Hold on. This is gonna bug me. Uh. It got to be. Why would they not know? All right, it's why the heck? What is wrong with the internet that I can't find this particular picture? Hold on, chat. But the point I'm trying to make is, if this is art, then so are the T-shirts that Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines wore in when they were in Key West in Running Scared, with the spray painted boobs on them. Just saying. All right, tell me the difference. And you guys know I was just searching like mad for that picture and couldn't find it. It's very depressing. All right, so more fasciones. It's good. We can go through this fashion stuff. It's way better than dealing with with what's his name. Apparently, there's a lot of gold floating around. Whoever this person is, they have access to a lot of gold. So, oh, there we go. I see. So there's a dead weasel version of. So so Cardi B is wearing something from this person. Look at the draped hands. The weird. I swear to God, the goal is to look like a Zelda boss at this point. What? What? Yeah. Let's see. This is good. Again, I couldn't find a comforter to make a coat out of, so I found the sheets and went at it. Yep, we saw that one. Patchwork, just a lot of stuff thrown together. It's about asymmetry, isn't it? Though, look number one from this. Yes, it looks. If I wore that, it would look like I had a boner. That's weird. And they what? Chaparral invite complete with bronze apple designer Daniel leaning into the collectibles and the symbolism of the coach. What, the biblical aspect of it or something? I don't. And then they're all wearing the outfits or whatever apparently. So you could just so it's just a thing where you wear pajamas out and you wear men's pajamas from 1952, and that's just going to be the look. And the difference is you put gold buttons on them. Yes, they're basically pajamas, but what makes them high fashion is that the buttons could feed a family for a year. I did the mix of the squares and the slashes. I don't buy it. Can't do that. Yes. So these are the and then they're showing the other pieces like they're museum pieces because they basically are, because they're more sculptures than they are art. I don't what. Yeah. She looks like she's giving a display to the other birds, and then they're about to face off. Like when they show like nature documentaries about how animals mate, they're like although I always thought that was the male that did it, but whatever. I mean, we're moving on. Humans don't have to. Those rules don't apply to us, I guess, at all. She eventually obviously had to take it off because it was too much. These are some of these eclectic hats in our collection. Hat for eating bouillabaisse, 1937. Shoe hat. Shoe, yeah, that would be a shoe hat. Fucking, oh. I couldn't do anything with my hair. And what do you got on your mind? what's on your mind? I love how she's just not letting him go anywhere. Look at the leg lock. He can't come to the phone. He's tied up right now. What was the name of this? Sex on the Brain. Sure, right, as it would. Yeah, there's the lady wearing the first comforter. And Schiaparelli audience in full shap, which I think is gauche, don't you? Also, no, across the board, it's a mess. I don't know. Yeah, at this point, I don't know what this stuff. I get where they're going, and this has the elements of this in a line would be wearable, but yeah. Again, this is okay. Bagok. Foof. Again, yeah, that's just silliness. What are you talking about? You ever watch these things and you're like, I want to go into fashion only because I'm mad that this crap is, like passing off as high fashion. When a lot of it is like secondary design, they take somebody else's stuff and then they just drape shit on it. It's weird. Meanwhile, and then there's an ad for what's his name's movie. Watch this. Blink. The adrenochrome film. Wonder Woman is trending. When it comes to Linda Carter, that's always good. I want to wish Israel Gal Gadot a Mazel Tov for becoming the first Israeli actress to receive a Hollywood star. Oh, good for her. Okay, so that happened recently. But the latest on it is what? If you go back that far. Who's the fourth most iconic superhero? Yeah, I think Wonder Woman fits in there. Although, in the DC world, at this point, you really do have to realize that Marvel's been very good at Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, and arguably, Black Widow. But I think Wonder Woman would kick her out largely because she's a superhero as opposed to just a hero, and that's the problem with Black Widow is that, gosh darn it, she's braver and more powerful in so many ways than any of the other superheroes she works with because she has no powers. Same thing with Batman. She's the female Batman. If anyone wants to say the Batgirl, then no. The female Batman character is and has been carried out as such and is, very good in terms of the substructure of the story and the backstory and all that kind of stuff. I think Black Widow qualifies. Jesus is alive and living in Tucson, apparently. And if you don't believe them, buy some crypto. Apparently, this is just apparently they just you just say that. Just throw. If Jesus is alive, then explain this. Hit like if you're thankful for our freedom. Where are you running, dummy? Did you steal that flag? It looks like you stole that flag. Just saying. And again, what does alive mean in that regard? I'm completely confused. Jesus left Chicago. That's right. I got to run off. I will see you guys later. We got through it though. We managed to get through them fairly quickly, and I know a bunch of you are like, "Well, can we get through them that quickly in the future?" Maybe, maybe. But I will see you at noon my time in a couple of hours because I'm filling in for on WCPT. Joan Esposito is out today, so I'm going to be doing my show during that period. So I will see you guys in just a couple of hours. So peace and be wild, and I've got to go make some pancakes and stuff. If that's all right with you. I hope so. I hope so. Because if you